Harry allowed to stay with Meg in hospital during COVID. Harry and Meghan stepped down as senior royals on the 8th of January 2020. After a brief stay in Canada, they relocated to the US in March 2020. It was very bad timing. COVID had begun to spread in California in such a way that Governor Gavin Newsom declared a state of emergency on the 4th of March. Less than 3 weeks later, California went into lockdown, the first US state to do so. Newsom later ordered tougher restrictions on the 1st of July. According to a op-ed in the New York Times, Meghan had the miscarriage in July 2020. Hours later, I lay in a hospital bed holding my husband's hand. I felt the clamminess of his palm and kissed his knuckles, wet from both of our tears, she narrated. A few have doubted this account. In the midst of a raging pandemic, most hospitals didn't allow visitors. Social distancing was strictly enforced. If Harry was allowed to visit and stay at Meghan's bedside, he may have exerted some unusual privilege to do so. She didn't miscarry at all. I doubt she was even pregnant. Or it's a case like Hilaria Baldwin, where the surrogate miscarried and Hilaria faked that she did herself. The made-up story of "I had a cramp while I was singing to Archie, clutching him on the floor," was plagiarised from another book, and then in the Netflix horror show, she said she was giving a tour to her friend Abigail when she had cramps and miscarried. This burying the miscarriage's remains sounds also made up for the above reasons, users have posted. Now the doctor, pathologist and hospital are going to have to respond to this, because either someone is telling a lie or the hospital has broken the law. How did they manage to bring home the body's remains? A hospital doesn't just release the body to you, they release the body to a funeral home and you make arrangements from there. This story makes zero sense. Excerpts from Harry's autobiography indicated that they brought the body remains home, which they buried under a banyan tree. We left the hospital with our unborn child, a tiny package. We went to a secret place that only we knew, under a spreading banyan tree. While Meg wept, I dug a hole with my hands and set the tiny package softly into the ground. Laws regarding the disposition of bodily remains vary in every US state. For example, in Texas, the process differs depending on the maturity of the child. A body below less than 20 weeks old or weighing less than 350 grams may either be buried or cremated or disposed at the discretion of the hospital. One that's more than 20 weeks old or weighing more than 350 grams should be buried or cremated by Texas law. Usually all arrangements are made through a funeral service that works with the hospital. Bringing home remains is an unusual request and the process is an arduous one. The parents must specify that they wish to bury the remains themselves and sign release forms. They must also have permission to transport human remains. Are there banyan trees in California? I did a quick search and within North America they're only found in Florida, so unless these two grifters travel to Hawaii or South Asia, with their tiny package that is, not sure where they allegedly buried the human remains.